Having in-depth knowledge of real estate regulations, it's very important, especially for people that aim to go into real estate at some point. It would not only preserve your property, but also keeps you on the right side of the law. Now, these regulations vary from state to state because according to the Land Use Act, the federal law enacts ownership of every land within the state to the government, with the governor acting as custodian of those land within the state's borders. Now, it's important for investors, especially first-time buyers, to understand that upon the purchase of every property, a document attested to by the government, the governor in this case, is very important. So as it concerns property purchase, it's also important to adhere to some restrictions and some policies as it concerns each state. Taking Lagos State as case study, before you make those purchase of those properties, you have to consider a couple of factors ranging from its closeness to a major highway, its closeness to waterways, drainages, canals, and of course, high power cable tension carrying electrical distribution. Then, of course, worthy of note, you have to be wary of government reserve areas. So if you can exercise these restrictions, this is just to name a few among the lots, but this has concerned the government, then you'll be sure of preserving your investment or your property. Now, when it comes to building construction or building property, there are some regulations, there are some approvals and some documentation you have to obtain to ensure you preserve that project, some of which you have to obtain from legalized government bodies, such as Physical Planning Agency. This is going to help you get approval for your building project, your building permit, and of course, your architectural drawing before the project commence. And then a building control agency, where you have to get approval from upon commencement of the project. Other bodies you need to get approvals from, environmental protection as well. You need to ensure, or you need to assure the government that you take environmental protection into cognizance before starting that construction. Of course, you also have to get approval from a materials testing agency. This body is in charge of approving the materials as well as the quantity of items to ensure that they are of standardized profile before the building commences. So if you adhere and get permits from these requisite bodies, as well as the government approval from, of course, the Physical Planning Office, you'll be sure of not only preserving your property, but also experience a rise in the valuation of pricing.